Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. In the last episode, Iron Tiger encountered Major Jin Kisaragi of the Novus Orbis Librarium's Praetorian Guard, and though he is considerably strengthened by the power of electromagnets and his devil genes, Iron Tiger was no match for the power of the Nox Sectoris Yukianasa. And following that, the two were encountered by the ominous creature known as Hakumen, to whom Iron Tiger actually managed to defeat in the Battle of Combat. But before he could move on, things took a very grievous turn for the worst with the advent of the Black Beast, making itself manifest in the heart of the cathedral. But at this point in time, we were about to engage in a rematch with Major Jin Kisaragi, and this time the Red Devil shall prevail, and prove her Sector 7 is superior to the NOL in this little jurisdiction squabble of theirs.
The wheel of fate is turning.
Unfortunately, the Nox Nectoris and Jin are no pushovers.
One. Action.
Let's get in there. But we'll hit you with a pile driver. Sledgehammer's not doing any good, so it's time for the electromagnets. Ooh. But Yukianasa is back in full force. Nope. Stay away. No. End up being frozen. That's bad. That's very bad. Oh, we're gonna hit that. Use electromagnets to get him closer to us. Magnetech wheel. Eye for an eye, Jin. Eye for an eye. We've gained victory.
I lost to the Red Devil.
Alright, we'll call it a draw.
This is the result of your own conceit. I guess you're just a rookie after all.
Indeed. While the power of the Nox Nectoris is not to be underestimated, Jin Kisaragi himself is a slightly different matter. I leave Jin and head deeper into the facility to finish setting up the last of the equipment. And, as always, I will never say no to save prompts. Save over that one. I use the crane in the back of the room to lower myself down to the bottom level of the facility, to the chamber of the cauldron.
I guess the basic construction here is very similar to the sector.
I suppose it would be. I take a quick look around, and, satisfied that the area is safe, begin setting up the equipment in the spot that Kokonoe designated.
You. Why have you come here?
Looks like we have a tendency to run into people we really don't want to, eh, Tiger? Because that voice belongs to the very person that we were after in the first place. Well, things could have been worse. We could have been fighting either Ragnar or Nu. So he is here, just like Kokonoe said he would be. Although, I can't help thinking about why she knew he'd be here. Might want to ask her that when you return. No, that's not important. I need to focus on my work right now.
You should already know. I came here to retrieve you. Hakumen.
Retrieve? I do not recall making such a request.
I don't think one was ever given of you.
From the moment you were rescued from the boundary, Kokonoe has been your master. And we can't exactly allow a domesticated hound to roam free, now can we?
That's an interesting appellation to give to one of the legendary 6 heroes responsible for the destruction of the Black Beast.
An interesting thing to say. You were telling the dog, who happened to be found that day, to listen to the cat?
If the shoe fits, I suppose.
Indeed, it was a coincidence. Sector 7 aims to kill the Seether at its source. You were just a byproduct Kokonoe found along the line. Coincidence or not, that's irrelevant to her. She only sees you as another sample, a tool to research the original units that lie dormant within the boundary.
The original units. I take it he is referring to the Murakumos. But I don't think Hakumen himself is a Murakumo.
Your purpose is of no interest to me. I exist only to eradicate evil from this earth. I am not bound by the whim of that Grimalkin.
Indeed, Hakumen is determined to ensure that the Black Beast never rears its head again. And that means facing Ragnar.
You in Sector 7 wish to dispose of Seether and return the world to how it once was. Ask yourself, is what you desire truly just?
Well, considering the fact that Seether is detrimental to life on the planet, most certainly. However, without Seether, well, even though the Black Beast itself is actually a incredibly concentrated creature made almost entirely of Seether itself, Seether was instrumental in powering Ars Magus. If Seether were to disappear, the power of the NOL would actually be broken.
What do you mean, just?
Think, fool. The world of today thrives on Seether. Were it to disappear, would that world not end? Perhaps your actions will hurt the world rather than save it.
It's an interesting argument from you there, Hakumen.
Losing Seether could bring humanity to its knees in a way the Black Beast could never have managed. How can you know this and still believe in Sector 7?
I don't think it's Sector 7 Tager believes in. Hakumen goes silent. He seems to be waiting for my answer.
What I have faith in isn't Sector 7. It's Kokonoe. Since that day, and from now on, that won't change.
So you have given your faith to the Grimalkin. How amusing.
I do my best to give him a level stare. Not the easiest thing to do when your opponent has no visible eyes, as eventually he finishes laughing. He does have visible eyes, they're just not on his face, they're on his shoulder pads and his gauntlets. But not his mask.
So you are a man who lives by what he believes. Your determination is refreshing. But if you wish to retrieve me, you must do so by force.
Unfortunately, we had no other option of doing so.
I am the White Void. I am the cold steel. I am the just sword. With blade in hand shall I reap the sins of this world and cleanse it in the fires of destruction. I am Hakumen. The end has come.
Then prove to me my beliefs are wrong.
Believe it or not, Tager is probably the only person alive who can stand toe-to-toe with Hakumen. On a good day, that is. Let us hope that this is a good day for me.
The wheel of fate is turning.
Because fighting Hakumen is always a pain.
Rebel.
But Tager might be able to pull it off.
Atomic Collider! EM!
Not yet.
Oh! No, 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 not this.
Gigantic Tiger!
There we go.
Not yet.
There we go. Oh, no, that's bad. Another pile driver from Tager. Let's... Oh, this is infinity distortion. Oh, come on. There we go. Uppercut there, but well fought.
I did not expect that you would fare this well. Perhaps I have misjudged you and your so-called belief.
And perhaps more besides, but I'm glad I was not proven wrong in the fact that Iron Tager is probably one of the few individuals alive who actually does have the power and the strength, not to mention fortitude, to stand against Hakumen of the Six Heroes. And that is a good thing. A very good thing, in my opinion. I've damaged him quite a bit. His movements are noticeably slower. This is my chance. I pull out my communicator.
Can you hear me, Kokonoe? The devices are in place. Get ready to warp the target.
It's time for intervention.
Roger! Get away from Hakumen so you don't get dragged in yourself, meathead!
Thanks for the gratitude there, Kokonoe. Not. As the Yars we prepared begins to write itself out in the air, I can see Hakumen start to fade.
Let me ask you one thing.
What?
Do you really think that master of yours, the Grimalkin, deserves your faith?
That's none of your concern.
Huh. I seem to have struck a nerve. Until we meet again.
Indeed, until next we meet, Hakumen. I can't see his face, if he even has one, but I feel like Hakumen grins at me before he disappears, along with the R's. His last words are still hanging in the air when I detect a dangerous presence behind me. More specifically, the presence of the Azure Grimoire, and the person who wields it. I turn around to see the sneer of a white-haired young man. Long time no see, Ragnar the Blood Edge.
So, you're Ragnar the Blood Edge, huh?
Of course, this is their first meeting or something. And yet not.
So what if I am? What are you gonna do about it, Sector 7's Red Devil?
Nothing.
Huh. So you're not here for a fight.
Capturing you is only secondary. And I'm afraid I don't have enough energy remaining to complete that task.
Is that right? Well, I didn't want to get dragged into anything complicated either. Thanks for saving me the trouble.
Don't let me get in your way.
Well, thanks for being so considerate.
I just carry out my missions as I'm told. Nothing more, nothing less. So there's no need to thank me.
I step into the elevator and pull out my communicator. Also, I felt it wasn't really necessary to talk between Ragnar's and Tager's conversation there.
This is Tager. My mission's complete. Now returning to base.
So back to Sector 7 we go.
Forget about the damn reports. Just get your ass back here. Teleportation went well enough, but that damn Hakumen really gets on my nerves.
I'm sure the feeling is mutual, Kokonoe. Don't want to go back to Kokonoe, eh, Hakumen? I know how you feel. So it seems that Hakumen has once again vanished from Sector 7, it seems.
Roger that. I'll return as fast as I can.
Oh, Tager.
What is it?
Nothing. I was just remembering something. Back when I picked you up.
What's gotten into you? Reminiscing about the past?
Indeed. Kokonoe is hardly what one would consider the sentimental type, given her abrasive attitude.
Yeah, I am. Something wrong with that?
I found her somewhat pouting tone of voice strangely cute. She's acting like a teenage girl.
Hardly. It just didn't seem like something you would do.
Out of character, huh? Yeah, well, now that you mention it, I guess I am pretty busy these days. Not a lot of time for memory lane. Too busy to remember if those days went by fast or slow.
Okay, now you've got me worried. You're being way too sentimental. Or are you just relieved Hakumen's been recovered?
It takes her a moment to respond, almost like she's hesitant.
Relieved? No. I just hate how powerless I am. By the way, Tager.
Do you still need something?
Oh, it's not that. It's just... Thanks for everything you've done for me.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
The Kokonoe I know would never have bothered to thank me for my trouble. Perhaps my oral equipment is malfunctioning. The only other explanation I can think of is that I'm having auditory hallucinations. I have been under a lot of stress. And yet, Kokonoe is genuinely appreciative. That's not a good sign.
I said thanks for everything you've done for me. Especially for all the stuff you've done on this particular mission. What, you think it's strange for me to say thanks?
The thought crossed the mind, certainly.
I wouldn't say strange, but I believe that was the first time you've ever thanked me. So I was just surprised.
Really? Huh. Thought I mentioned it before.
The static is increasing. I guess my reception is getting worse.
The connection is breaking up. I'll hear the rest when I return to base.
All right. I can't wait to see you again.
That's a very odd way to end a conversation there, Kokonoe. But then again, given the fact that I'm aware of everything that's happened thus up until this point so far, Kokonoe's behavior seems to make a slight modicum of sense. See me again. It seems like a strange thing to say. Unless...
I'm sorry, Tager.
First gratitude and now an apology? If I'm not malfunctioning, then there must be something very wrong with Kokonoe.
Really? Is something wrong with you, Kokonoe? You are acting awfully strange today. Those words I was about to utter, along with everything else on the face of this rotten world, disintegrated in a few moments.
Yeah, I called it. The sequence of events of the time loop is coming to its conclusion.
I'm sorry, Tager.
Ending with the complete and absolute annihilation of Kagutsuchi by the ominous star that is a satellite.
For a second, I thought I just heard Kokonoe's voice again. There's no need to worry. I'm sure you'll find me once again. I, too, look forward to that day.
And that is the true end of Blind Warrior, the story of Iron Tager. A very quaint ending, if I do say so myself. But that is it for this episode of Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. And when we return, we have 4 more stories left to explore. 4 different perspectives to try and piece together this ominous mystery. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.